Okay, welcome to Mr. Ridley's Engineering, and in this clip we're going to look at this piece of equipment, which is a MIG welder. MIG stands for metal inert gas. So it feeds a steel wire. It has two components here. It has a trigger here and it has an earth clip. The trigger, the torch, has a wire, a steel wire that's fed out of here, and it has here a gas cylinder filled with an inert gas. This is CO2 and argon mix. So how it works, if we turn the machine on, we can see that inside there is a large drum of steel wire. There is a motor with a wheel which grips and pulls the wire. So when the trigger is pulled, the wire feeds through the torch. So if we look at the torch here, you can see that's fed through. We'll look at that in a minute. And also there is a pipe going into the torch here that feeds the gas. So for our MIG, we've got metal, the steel wire, and inert gas, CO2 and argon. So we're going to see how this works. It works by making an electrical circuit between this clamp here and the wire coming out of the torch. So if we take the earth wire over here and we can attach that to our bench, if we just put the camera into there. So I have a piece of 1mm or two pieces of 1mm steel here which are clamped to this bench. You can see that our earth wire here is also clamped to this piece of steel, so that's forming an electrical connection. We're then going to get a torch, and if we look at the torch, if I cut that wire off, if we look at the torch, when we pull the trigger, it does three things. It feeds gas through this tube here, so it feeds the inert gas, and it also, if you can see this, might be better there, you can see that it feeds the wire out. And the third thing it does is connect a large electrical current between the wire and the earth clamp. So if we look at this, we feed this out, when it touches there, you'll see that it becomes red hot because the current causes the wire to become red hot, and that's that electrical charge, that is what melts the metal. So we're actually feeding this wire into our joint. So the difference in welding and soldering is that soldering, we use a softer material like solder to connect in between. With this material we're just using steel, so it all becomes one piece of steel. Now we need some personal protective equipment. We use welding gauntlets, so I'm going to put on the welding gauntlets, these to protect our hands and to protect our eyes when this actually sparks. So if you see a spark there, that is actually UV, ultraviolet light. So we need to use a welding mask. Now the welding mask is, this is an automatic one, but it is filters out all the dangerous UV light. So what we're going to do here is, and if I've got my piece of metal here, this is a bit awkward because I'm trying to do it so you can see, but and so you can see there that that's heated up, and it's actually melted all the way through the steel. So if I try and take this off now, that's only a short weld there, and that is really strong. I can't bend it. There's another one I've done here earlier with 2 pieces of steel, and if I take a hammer, and this one too, you can see that's really strongly fixed there. So that actually, as you say, unlike soldering, we've got mild steel here, we've filled it with a mild steel filler rod, and we've also got another piece of steel here. So that is effectively one piece of steel. So welding, when done properly, is as strong as the steel. And if we were to clean this off and clean this off, you'd actually effectively have one piece of steel. So that is MIG, metal inert gas welding.